raised in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Well, hello, my beautiful friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody's having a good day. Happy Friday. It is already weekend time. This week has gone by really fast. Hope everybody's doing well, healthy, having a good day. Hello to me and you. Hello, Blue Eyes. Hello, YouTuber. Miss Kathy. Lori. Let's see here. Hello, Teresa. Miss Charlene. How are y'all doing? Hey, TJ. And K Mac. Town Chat Cafe. How are you? Let's see here. Wait, what? Hello to you and Deanna Downey. Thank you all for being here. Miss Patty, thank you for being here. Oh, Amanda Jane, good to have you. Let's see here. All righty. We got through that pretty quick like. Hello to everybody. If you are in the bushes, hello, and thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. Guys, I think starting next week we're gonna go later in the evening time. Trying to find me a time slot where not everybody else is live or going live, and it's hard to do. But I think we may start a later in the evening next week and see how we can make that work. Hello, Narita. Good to have you. So we'll see how that works. So y'all stay tuned, and I will definitely make a post about it to let you all know what we're doing. It will probably affect those on overseas, across the pond over that away, and in Australia, I guess. But I tell you, I'm getting eaten up alive, guys. We got a tiny little channel. Yes, me and you. I will be watching Hindsight and the others tonight, the other two that are with her, for sure. So, okay. So it's 7:06 a.m. So if I went at 7:30, it would be daytime hours for y'all. Okay, good deal. That's good to know, YouTuber. So we're going to give it a try, see how it goes. I don't know. I got to do something. I know. I like this time too. But yesterday, Justin went live 5 minutes before we did. Today, he's scheduled to go live in about 30 minutes. Yep. Everybody's stepping on their toes over here. Now, we could go an hour earlier if y'all want to do that. Nobody goes live an hour earlier, so we could give that a try. I don't know. I know, right? Bobby, I've been wondering all day long who you pissed off today. Ooh, way to go, tap dancer Lizzie. Yum, yum, yum. Sounds amazing. So we're going to keep doing. I just got to get us a good time slot so people don't keep overlapping us so bad, because, they got the bigger channels. So we'll either go an hour earlier or go a little later. So I'm going to pay attention real good and see what might work best for us. Yeah, that's the bad problem, TJ. We all have the same, people. We're a big chunk of the same people. So that's the bad part. But we shall see. We got to do something so that we can keep us a good crowd coming in. And, I'm trying to grow my channel, not go backwards. Look at there. K-Max said, I'm only following Sebastian's case, so I'm not visiting any other channels. Awesome, K-Mac. Keep the mom of the 3 little girls in your prayers still. Last I checked, it was about an hour ago, they still had not found the father that unalived those precious babies. So continue to keep them in your prayers. Jack and little Lily. I'm not sure about all that. There's something fishy going on with that as well. K-Mac, did you know she did not start a GoFundMe page, but her community started it for her. And they just wanted her to know that she had, support, and they were there for her. So the community is the one that started that for her. So, anyways, over 1 million. I know. Isn't that crazy? But I'll tell you what, folks, that mama's going to be very appreciative of that, because 2 weeks after I lost my son, my boss called, or not quite 2 weeks, and he called and he said, okay, he said, you need to keep your mind preoccupied. He said, I want to see you at work. And I went back to work, and I was no good to nobody. I was never so grateful to have the quarantine hit about that time. I just couldn't. And so this mama will be able to afford to have some time. I mean, her life has the life she knew will never, ever be again. I couldn't imagine losing all 3 of my babies. Yeah. I am very glad they did that. Of course, the other side is making it into something horrible, but, I'm very proud for her that she has that kind of support there, that people care and want to help and want to do what they can. And when you can't really do anything, because guys, really, there's nothing anybody can just step in and do. I had people come in, clean my house when my house was already clean pretty much, so they just did here and there and started organizing and putting out chairs for people to sit in, because I live in a small town, been here, raised my kids here. I know we as a family, my house was packed with people, and I'm sure hers will be as well. So even the lady that owns the Mexican food place here in town brought me my favorite meal. I didn't eat, and she told me, she said, you may not eat it, but I brought it for you. And she just sat beside me for a while. I got to listening last night on Justin's when he was talking about that father. And, he was in the military and he served in Afghanistan. and everything. When he came back, he was not quite the same. I will say this about our military. When they come back from deployment, they spend 2 weeks debriefing, which means each person has to go in and go over their whole entire time there, what they did, what they saw, and basically they're told what they can talk about and what they can't say. Then they're asked if they need additional help. And of course, no one hardly ever says, yeah, I think I've got mental issues. They're too prideful. Yes, me and you, do it. Yeah. Just make sure you put it like in your opinion or allegedly or in my experience or something to that sort. Yeah, Sabrina, a re-entry mental exam. My son should have had some help as well. He was very triggered. Noises, oh my goodness, would just set him off. And to see his marriage falling apart, him losing his job, not being able to get jobs, keep them for very long, everything piles up. Don't get me wrong. I am in no way at all making any excuses for what he did. I'm just saying I've seen that breaking point for people. I've seen how they get to that point. And I think our government should do more for the military coming back. Hello, Miss Erna. How are you? Hello, Holly S. and Bridget and everybody else coming in. Hello to y'all. Thank you for being here. So yes, that dad either had something that set him off. Even the girls squeal. Little girls can have a high-pitched squeal. That could have just been the trigger point for him. Who knows? Did he plan it? I don't know. I have no clue. Your BIL came back unrecognizable. Yep. That was my son. He still has triggers to this day. Little things that just he knows. And he doesn't go around, if those things are going to happen or whatever. And it's very stressful. Very, very stressful. Hey, Sabrina. So, me and you, did you put in chat already what you were going to say? I missed it if you did. It changes them. Saw that. I didn't see you put anything in there that was too bad. They do change. They do change for sure. Like I said, my son's not who he was, not even close. Hello, Gypsy. How are you? Thank you all for being here. I appreciate everybody coming in. Just keep them in your prayers. Keep Nana as she buries her husband. And she's got a lot that she's got to figure out now. Her life just changed as well. So, you know, and Miss Christine, if y'all followed the Summer Wells case, her time is just day by day, really. Yeah, Nana's gonna, I kind of think she might move towards her daughter's house. She doesn't have other family there, but she loves where she's at, I know, but I don't know. We'll see. So, well, today I put the last sighting. We're going to revisit Texas Roadhouse. And I've pulled up some videos that we're going to go over and watch a little bit of. They're from channels, a couple of them that you might not recognize or haven't heard of or anything, but you may have as well. But it's a different look at some things, and it's always good to go back and double, check into things to make sure we're not missing anything as well. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And the first one we're going to do, let me see here, which one is this one? I don't know. I can't remember. I'll tell you here just a second. Here we go. This is Crime Stories Obsessed. And all of these links will be in chat as well. This one was put out 5 months ago. And this is basically the little part where her and Sebastian are here sitting. Watch closely. And if this is something I noticed when I went to watch this that I hadn't paid attention to before. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but the man sitting right beside on Sebastian over here, he seems to be looking directly at Katie. I thought that was very strange. So I'm wondering if she made a loud gesture towards Sebastian that he would have heard. But here we go. Let's watch this real quick. That is the picture on her phone that she just took of Sebastian sitting there. You can see the 2 plates there. You see his shirt. What is that picture taken for? What was the purpose of that picture, Katie? We want to know, because it was not to show that he was eating salad dressing on his salad. Another lie you told. Another lie your husband told. If you notice, Katie is sending a text at this very moment. Who is she sending that text message to? As you watch her, she's typing in probably the person she's sending it to. Send. Did you see her thumb? She hit send right there. This is Crime Stories Obsessed. Bless his heart. Can y'all not see it anymore? What happened? It quit sharing. Hold on. I don't know what happened, guys. Let's keep watching. We got just a tiny bit more to watch here. Okay. Here we go. She said she's showing Sebastian something and turns her head to look. Watch. Okay, so there's that one. Next, we're going to watch Deception Detective. I want you to watch and pay attention to what he says on this one. And this was done 4 months ago. And we love some Deception Detective. I had to do this one for Miss Rhonda so she can look at him. And look at the words at the bottom. He starts out with the very words, Chris is lying.
Chris is lying. That was my first thought when I heard this, so I reached out to Dog the Bounty Hunter on X to confirm my suspicions. And guess what? Dog and his team had contacted him. Live interviews are the gold standard for spotting lies. Let's hear Chris Proudfoot discuss his missing stepson, Sebastian Rogers, on a true crime podcast to see if he slips up.
I think it's a good thing sometimes just open your ears and hear what people are saying. You know, for me personally, my biggest hang up, and Chris, we've talked about this as well, is that Katie has been so quiet. Now, there's 2 reasons why I can understand Katie being quiet. 1, every time y'all come out and talk, it's ripped apart. I get that. And 2, she may not be very good or do very well at public speaking, okay? But I think that the issue that people have is that they haven't been able to humanize Katie because Katie has been so far away from the situation. And I think that...
Okay. I disagree with Elevated Truth. Katie has humanized herself into a mother who has no care in the world that her child is missing. Katie is a person who has no issue whatsoever going on vacation just 6 days after her child went missing. But hey, don't forget she left a blanket, shoes, and some snacks on the front porch for him, just in case he came back home. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. While you're in Oregon at a barbecue event, you left a blanket, shoes, and snacks for your child in case he came back home. That was all for show, folks. I don't care about putting in my opinion on that. It's almost very obvious.
People in general, in order to humanize somebody, they have to feel like they know the person. Does that make sense? Even if we don't know them at all, we have to feel like we can understand them or relate to them. And the fact that Katie has been so quiet, it puts a lot of people off. Now, Katie has the right to be quiet, but on the same note, if Katie has the right to be quiet, then people have the right to question the quietness.
This is my third video analyzing this interview. If you missed parts 1 and 2, don't worry, I'll link them at the end. For now, here's what you really need to know. At the time of this live stream, Sebastian had been missing for 10 months. His mom, Katie Proudfoot, was the last person to see him alive and only did a handful of interviews before going radio silent. So when Elevated Truth says that she has the right to be silent and we have the right to question that, he's exactly correct. For the biological mother of a missing child to stop doing press is unusual. Besides Elevated Truth, there are 4 other true crime tubers on this panel, as well as Chris Proudfoot. Chris is Sebastian's stepdad, and he was apparently out of town when Sebastian went missing. That will be important for later. With all that in mind, let's keep listening.
It's kind of a 50-50. So unfortunately, for you come out and talk. You don't have a problem doing that. It is what it is, right? And you speak for Katie a lot of the times, as I would expect you to do because you're her husband, right? That's what we do in the South. My question is there going to be a time that Katie is going to not speak to you two, because like I've said to you before, I think that's pointless, right? But to go out and speak directly to Sebastian, or respectfully, is the reason that that's not happening because you're worried about whether he would be able to hear it or not? Like, is there a reason that she hasn't directly addressed him?
She has, in some interviews, directly addressed him, especially when...
Only when prompted. Let's not forget that part, Mr. Chris. I don't care how you paint your wife. She comes across as cruel, uncaring. At no time does she take the narrative and create the whole thing herself by saying, Sebastian, baby, if you're out there, please try to call 911. If you're out there, honey, we're here. We're looking. We're not going to stop. And baby, we're going to find you. Mama's coming. At no time ever in the whole 15 months he's been missing has that woman ever took that initiative herself. She's always had to be asked, what would you say to Sebastian if you had the opportunity? She's too busy staying on script, and that was not part of the script, in my opinion. But folks, you go look at innocent parents, and they're out there screaming to the rooftops, I'm coming to get you, baby. Don't worry. I'm going to find you. Instead, Sebastian's mother is saying, there's a lot of missing kids that deserve attention, maybe more so than Sebastian. If that child happened to be hearing that podcast, could you imagine? Well, thanks, Mom.
When people ask the question if Sebastian could hear you right now or he's watching this, Katie has addressed Sebastian directly.
On your screen now is my missing child presser checklist. These are 7 things that parents of missing children do spontaneously when they have an audience. In other words, these aren't things that they're coached to do by the police or the FBI or their attorneys. They just stem from the nature of the situation, the uncertainty about what happened, the curiosity about where their kid is right
Hi,
now and what they're going through,
Sharon.
the undying hope that their kid will be found or return home,
Hey, Legally
and the
Blonde.
overwhelming instinct to get their kid back at cost. Now, if parents don't do all these things, does that mean they're guilty? Of course not. But it does suggest that we should investigate further. If you've seen my videos about Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom or Gannon Stouch's biological mom, you'll know that they did all these things unprompted, no matter how big the audience they were talking to was. Like Chris said, Katie.
Unprompted. Did you hear that? Mothers who did not have anything to do with their child not being found did those things unprompted. Katie has to be prompted.
He did directly address Sebastian through the media, a key item on the checklist. The only issue is she had to be prompted to do it,
Yep.
which Chris also said. And that's why I can't give Katie full points, things spontaneously, not at the request of the interviewer. When Elevated Truth brings up the notion of addressing Sebastian through the media, Chris still doesn't do it. Is he that certain that Sebastian isn't watching, or is he just not concerned that he might be? In this next segment, I think we're going to get a clue to the answer to that question and some insight into what Chris really thinks about Sebastian.
It's been quite some time. Would you agree?
Right. And I want everybody to stop for one quick second. I'm going to rewind something here on you. In October, we had Halloween, one of Sebastian's favorite holidays. He's not home.
Right.
Thanksgiving, our family dinner table is incomplete.
Hey, Brenda, you're good.
December 7th,
Marion, hi.
people couldn't leave the day alone.
Will your wife put him in past tense for that day?
Sure couldn't.
Christmas is coming up. Once again, we have an incomplete holiday.
Whose fault is that, Chris?
New Year's.
So she's just
Valentine's Day.
Like,
And then right after Valentine's Day, what is the next one?
well, let's hope he's home by then instead of.
Amen. Amen. But everybody wants to know why. She doesn't talk. Maybe.
Mothers who want their child to be found talk. They cry. They scream. We see the emotion. Katie is not a different specimen unless she's not guilty.
Maybe because she's a grieving mother. Maybe this is one of the worst stretches of the year for any person in this world who has had to deal with a personal tragedy, losing a loved one, anything.
Losing a loved one, he refers to. Losing them. Did he run away? Or have you lost him? Is he gone? Or is he just missing Mr. Chris? Why don't you explain that? Hello to everybody coming in. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of y'all.
It's not that she doesn't want to talk, but respecting the fact.
We lost you, I think. We lost you.
Not that she doesn't want to talk, right? Do y'all just remember the video we just watched of her and Sebastian sitting at the table at Texas Roadhouse, just the two of them? She just didn't want to talk, I guess. There was hardly any conversation happening there. Was she preparing herself for not talking? Or was that just normal that you take the child out to eat, let him eat, and he just sits there very uncomfortable because his mother's not even going to talk to him? What is it? Come on, Mr. Chris, give us some real answers.
We'll be back.
How about now?
Yeah,
You're
we
good
got
now.
you.
There we go.
Sorry.
There we go.
Well,
Chris, I don't mean to interrupt you for a second. Addison, will you please make a comment so I can mod you? Queen asked me to mod you. So if you'll make a comment, please. Go
No.
ahead.
Reread that. Reread that.
Oh,
But what I was saying is, when she's ready to talk, she'll talk. And I just ask that you respect the facts. It is the holidays. She is grieving. Seth is grieving.
Seth's grieving. He talks.
Everybody grieves in their own ways. Just have some respect about it.
Notice how Chris didn't say he's grieving, just Katie and Seth. And what does grieving even mean? It's usually how people process death, not an ongoing emergency like the disappearance of someone who might still be alive. But that's not the only clue that Chris might know or suspect the worst. When he was defending Katie's strange silence, he didn't say that the holidays are hard for someone who's experiencing an emergency. Instead, he referred to the tragedy as complete, as if it's already over.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo, boom. I like what he has put up here. To detect a hoax, focus on what wasn't said rather than what was said. And he was all around the circle of it.
But when your child is missing, it's not over until you have answers. If I'm being charitable, I would say that Chris seems pessimistic about the odds of Sebastian being alive. If I'm not, I would say it's more than that.
a lot of people are saying that you guys aren't doing anything. Is there things that you guys are doing that you're just not broadcasting?
We don't broadcast what we do because it doesn't, one, like you said before, it gets twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, sometimes not having what we do broadcasted is actually a lot more effective.
How is it that when you're on vacation in Oregon, sitting in your little lawn chairs at a barbecue cook-off, is it more effective to finding Sebastian? Can you tell us that, Mr. Chris? How about when you're at Biker Week in South Carolina? How is that more effective? Because from what I've been told, you didn't pass out no flyers. The person at the beach bar sure as hell saw your wife in there, laughing, cutting up, getting her drinks and everything. She didn't pass out a flyer. How is that more effective?
Because we can focus on doing what we need to do. Finding Sebastian, looking into things, whatever we need to do. Sometimes it's best not publicized.
Yeah. I mean, look,
You know,
I got a photo of everybody searching, and that's torn apart, right?
Well, I'm going to put this out there, and I can't, God, I can't stand this for the life of me.
Well, can I just say something? There are things
So good.
that I have personally heard, and this is not from Chris and Katie, okay? There was a situation talking, y'all know we've been in the neighborhood talking to people. I'm gonna cry, don't fucking judge me, but there was a neighbor who said the day after he went missing, Katie stepped outside and they just heard this like blood curdling scream. And she was outside screaming his name. And then she just like doubled over and fell on the pavement. And for days, she left a blanket, food, shoes outside for him. And this person was like, it was the most heartbreaking thing. And she was like crying, right? Because my assumption is she's a mom and that hits you. You know what I mean?
It does hit you, Clue. Let me tell you how bad it hits you. When your child is gone, your knees go out from under you. My daughter said I made a noise that she never knew existed. I don't remember. I hit the floor. I went into pure shock. But I'll tell you this. If my child had ran away, I would have been sleeping on that front porch instead of leaving a blanket, shoes, and some snacks. That's for damn sure. But Katie's all snuggled up in her bed.
It chokes me up.
Hearsay and gossip are totally unreliable, which is why I always try to focus on the suspect's own words. It's the reason I stopped analyzing this case for about 6 months, because the primary suspects stopped doing interviews. That said, let's assume this anecdote is true. What does it actually prove about Katie's guilt or innocence? At best, it shows that she's actively searching for Sebastian and she's genuinely heartbroken about his disappearance. But that doesn't mean she's clueless about what happened or even uninvolved. She could have sent him away in a fit of rage and now regrets that decision. At worst, Katie's actions here sound performative. Sobbing and screaming outdoors certainly gives the appearance of innocence to anyone within earshot, but it's far from the most meaningful thing she could be doing to help the search. In fact, the most useful things, like doing media interviews or working with Dog the Bounty Hunter and his team, are the things she refuses to do. In other words, doing one without doing the others suggests a desire to appear innocent without actually doing everything possible.
A desire to appear innocent without doing anything action-wise. Isn't that kind of what we've been saying all along, folks? Part of that script. I think we've talked about that a time or two. And why would she leave things on the front porch if that child had the code to get in the front door? I still have that question.
And wherever we find these inconsistencies between one's stated desires and their actions, we often find liars.
Oh, I understand completely when Chris feels like even something is being insinuated about her. And I understand why he gets upset and immediately wants to come to her defense, he loves her. It's what
Well,
he's supposed to do.
right. Like I said earlier, he's being a protective husband, right? Like, yeah, I get.
What do you have to protect Katie from? From people that question things, question her actions? Because that's all we're doing. We're questioning the word choices she uses, such as he would have been, and has to take a deep breath and say, he turned 16. He should have been home for that. She still kept him in the past tense. We question those things. We're not out there saying, I drove by your house. I'm not calling saying, you need to shut your mouth. So, what is there to protect Katie from? People who are talking about what their words are saying, questioning their vacations? That needs protected? Who was there to protect Sebastian when CPS got called? Bet y'all couldn't answer that one.
I get it.
People are going to push back because they're saying already, like, no, you cared more about the truck. To clarify, that right there was going to lead to another 100 live streams saying, boom, Chris is guilty. So it's not that he cared about the truck over Sebastian. He cares about, as he said, the misinformation and disinformation, or half of the information being out there that leads to hours of speculation that does not result or even help Sebastian be found.
You're right. You're right. We're going to question that. And let me tell you why we're going to question Chris's truck pinging while they were checking out all the pings from every vehicle and every phone that entered that area. Because they did that in a timeline, not 30 days prior. Mr. Chris is a liar. They did it on Sunday. They did it overnight. It's useless to do after 6:30 that morning because he had been reported missing in that time frame had ended. So when Mr. Chris's truck pinged and they had his ping, it's important. But you all want to make it out as if his truck that pinged at 1:30 in the afternoon in the middle of the search. It had already happened. They don't need information after it's happened. So yeah, it is important that Mr. Chris's truck pinged in him trying to make it out like it's in the middle of the day while they're searching. I call BS on that.
Found because it's not based on fact. So no, he didn't care about the truck. That's being simple-minded.
Well, once again, that's where people, they have their opinions. And I've stated the fact.
Well, opinions don't write a probable cause affidavit, and people need to remember that. Your feelings about people and maybe them being shady or, whatever, and I'm talking to the creators and the viewers, they don't write a PCA.
Well, let me tell you, a PCA on Mr. Chris's truck could be written because it pinged while they were searching for pings prior to getting the call that Sebastian was missing. So, yeah, I disagree with you on that one.
right? You have to have evidence. And as we all know, right now, there is no evidence against anybody. So
I call BS on that one too. There was one flashlight at 3:10 a.m. that ran back to the home of the Proudfoots. There was one person that woke up that morning in that home. That's a suspect. And if a real law enforcement agency was investigating, I'm telling you, they would have looked into that very seriously.
So to start an investigation and hire a private intelligence agency and have them come out the gate after Chris and Katie is wild to me. Wild.
That's because you're ignorant and you're being paid and you're being told lies by the two people that live in that house.
To me.
In my opinion, guys.
What kind of intelligence agency starts an investigation with suspects in mind? It's fucking wild.
Accusing someone without evidence is bad, but so is gathering evidence against them. This circular logic is a death spiral for truth-seeking. And it's also why I only focus on de facto, actual guilt or innocence on my channel, not whether it can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt in court. Because in real life, that's what actually matters. And I urge you to think the same way, no matter what this panelist says. You're not a juror, and you're not building a legal case. You don't need to presume anyone's innocence. You can consider all the evidence, even the inadmissible stuff like polygraphs and statement analysis. And yes, you can form an opinion even if you're not sure beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, to be clear, I don't think anyone should be locked up based on these standards. The government should and must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt before taking away someone's freedom. But I also think that if Chris or Katie invited your kid to a sleepover or volunteered to coach their little league team, you should politely decline.
So anyway, your facts.
Chris bringing in the truth here. There ain't no way in hell my child would go to his home, her home, and stay any amount of time. Sebastian had things done to him that was not good in their home. Sebastian is missing from their home. Hell no. No child that I know of would I ever let go to their house. And let's not forget how outraged Mr. Chris can get on these panels. If he can do that on a public platform, could you imagine how he can get in the privacy of his own home? No way should a child ever go in that house.
Your feelings don't write a PCA.
Actually, some of their feelings did write out a whole.
Well, they wrote out an injunction, but not a
Oh,
PCA, not a probable cause, right? Come on, like
that's not even going to.
And you have to be in true. I've been in true crime a really long time. You guys know me from the shows and stuff, but like you have to be able to bend with the evidence, right? You have to. You can have an idea of something, but you have to bend your theory with the evidence. And right.
Why would you bend your theory? Why would you have to bend your story? There is no bending of a story, folks. My goodness, they believe this crap they're spewing. Why do you bend your story? Your story should be the truth of what happened. There's no bending.
Well,
of course, they bend their story when it comes to Seth. So let's make sure everybody bends stories, right? So that way they can bend the story to attack Seth. And there is evidence. It's just not being acted on.
Yeah, and
That we know about. That we know about.
If I may, because I've never had a chance to speak to you, Chris, on a panel or anything, if I may seek this opportunity to ask some of the questions that they are using, basing their feelings on. Did you and Katie take a vacation shortly after Sebastian's disappearance?
To where?
I mean,
To where? To where? The question was, did you take a vacation? That means, did you pack up and leave your home? He's going to say to where, folks. You can't make that kind of shit up.
I don't know. They're all saying you guys went on vacation.
No, we have
Okay.
never, in this whole deal, like, we haven't been on a vacation.
Okay, folks. Put a 1 in chat if you think attending a barbecue festival, a barbecue cook-off in Oregon, part of a vacation. If you think a motorcycle rally in Myrtle Beach, Katie going to the beach bar, getting drinks, laughing and giggling with her girl pals is a vacation, that's a 1 as well. Right, Legally Blonde? He just now is playing stupid. Dude, when your lips are moving, you're lying. Lord help him. This man needs serious help, God. I mean, oh my gosh. You're gone. 43-hour trip. You're attending a barbecue cook-off. You're visiting with family. And from what I understand, there were no flyers that Sebastian put out, because the lady that was at the pond when you were there, Chris, didn't even know about your son, your stepson, being missing. And she lives there.
Why are you people telling me to stop? Wouldn't you, like, would you rather seek this opportunity to clear up rumors and hopefully get some solid answers? Or do you guys want to have a little, where we can all powwow and tell everybody how great each other is?
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, I'd rather seek this opportunity, but I'll digress.
Right.
We'll go ahead
No,
and
don't digress, because you're right. It is the perfect.
Say
this is
whatever
what
the
he's-
hell you want. Fuck them
Right, this is
people.
what
Ain't
he's here
shit.
for, but all right, you guys can
No,
all
you're good. Granny, I've got you up here as a guest. If they don't like it, they can leave.
I mean, I feel like these are solid. I don't know. Like, do we want to waste this away by saying, like, oh, I respect you, well, you respect me, well, this is great? No, I want to hear about Sebastian. What, did you go on vacation? The answer is no. Do your parents own a private jet?
Chris said he and Katie didn't take a vacation, and I believe him. But that doesn't mean they didn't spend the night somewhere else or even leave town. That's because the word vacation is subjective. If Chris personally defines it as a trip for fun or relaxation, he could honestly say they didn't take one, even if they were gone for days. And that's what I meant in the intro when I said that live interviews are the gold standard for catching liars. Imagine if Granny, instead of moving on to this next question about some private jet, had asked some key follow-up questions. Like, okay, no vacation, but did you leave town at all? Did you spend the night anywhere else besides your own home? Would you be surprised to hear that some neighbors report your house being vacant for 24 hours at a time? As I've said time and time again in my videos, most people will avoid lying at all costs, especially about things that could be easily disproved, like their whereabouts. So they'll try to deceive you without technically lying, for example, by being overly broad, or overly vague, or overly specific, like what I think Chris is doing here with the word vacation. Pay attention to this next part because Chris is going to do it again. See if you can catch it.
God,
Okay, now
no.
that's out the way.
Are there 5 CPS reports?
I don't know.
Are there 5 that you know about?
Once again, I don't know.
Okay.
Does your family own a crematorium?
No.
Do you
What
know?
else?
Do you have a family member that works at a funeral home? A funeral home that does
You know,
cremations? Mr. Chris? We know that answer would be yes.
the relative of Yada or Yala, what's her name? Anybody?
Her name
Oh,
is
yeah.
Yada.
Yada.
Katie's Aunt Yada. Can you tell us anything? Does she know Katie? Is she a close relative? Is she a real relative?
She may be a real relative, but I will tell you this. That woman doesn't know Katie. I couldn't tell you the last time she saw Katie. And I will say this, because of the negative things that she has said, I hope she hears when I say this. She's not that important to Katie to give 2 flying shits about.
Fair enough.
Mr. Chris, tell us how you really feel. Why don't you tell us the conversation you had with Yada? Because whatever the hell you told her, she all of a sudden flipped over to your side.
Now, Chris, your mother has recently been vocal, and I assume it is in protection of you. People keep making jokes like mama's boy and all that, but I'll be damned, we'd all do the same for our kids. But she is going at it. Is that really your mother's account on Facebook? Are you aware? Is that a real account?
My mother does have a Facebook account. Unless you show me what you're referring to, I don't know.
Oh, he's skeptical here, being very picky.
Keep in mind, there have been people out there that have made accounts saying they're me, and they're not.
We saw that in the backstage.
Oh, yeah. I have another one. Were you and Katie in Oregon in March?
Nope.
Okay.
Really? Really, Mr. Chris? Come on now. Because now we know the truth. We know the truth, Mr. Chris. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Were you ever suing a company when you were a janitor?
Yeah.
First, never been a janitor, and
I didn't think so. Okay.
That gentleman is from Pennsylvania, and
Yes, he is.
They intentionally put that up there to make it appear as this Chris Proudfoot, damn well knowing they are 2 separate people.
I know. I'm just asking because, you gotta get it out, right?
And here's another one. And you can, of course, as you always feel comfortable saying, I'm not answering. But is it true that you all rented out your house over the summer?
Oh my God.
We haven't sold our house. We haven't rented our house. We haven't moved. We still live in the same house.
Or the dogs. Or
They did not rent their house out. They did not sell their house. However, it has been said that Lori, Katie's best friend, lived there in the house while they were living in the camper. It's also been said that during last summer, Mr. Chris had an apartment he lived in.
or the dogs. Let's clear that up. The dogs still there.
Yeah,
When
the
you
dogs are
were-
still there.
When you were 7 years old, did you father a child?
Yeah, that's
No,
another-
that would be very interesting, but no,
Okay.
No.
Has Dog the Bounty Hunter knocked down your door?
no.
No.
Dog the Bounty Hunter has yet to even try to contact me directly.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So I'll put that out
Did you
there.
see?
Chris is lying. That was my first thought when I heard this because the word directly wasn't part of the question. Chris added that in himself, so I reached out to Dog the Bounty Hunter on X to confirm my suspicions. And guess what? Dog and his team had contacted him. His denial was so specific and subjective, it was technically true. But was it misleading and deceptive? Absolutely. If he'd done this under oath, where you have to swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, I could see a judge holding him in contempt. But in the real world, we don't have that luxury. Your best defense against these clever verbal gymnastics are pointed follow-up questions. Okay, Chris, Dog didn't directly contact you, but has he attempted to contact you? Have he or any of his people tried contacting Katie or your attorneys?
There's quite a few of them. So let me get out my notebook. But no,
If you notice, I call this coddling. The way they ask questions, let Mr. Chris answer, and then they laugh it off and go on. There's no follow-up questions. There's no, are you sure you weren't in Oregon? Because a woman clearly saw you. That never comes out. You know, did Dog try to contact you and you not answer? Nah, none of that happened. It's what I call coddling.
but no, seriously. So are you aware, or do you have a neighbor near you that is in contact with YouTubers that you're aware of?
I don't know who does what in my neighborhood, other than the households that we've been able to talk to, and they've been extremely helpful in the very beginning of the investigation, and even until now. There might be one or two who do not. One, most of my neighborhood doesn't even know us.
Right.
They've never even.
What, Mr. Chris? You told everybody. The whole neighborhood loves Sebastian. You talked about how the whole neighborhood knew y'all. All the things. Y'all attended events that happened in the neighborhood. And now you're going to tell us the neighbors don't know you? Wow. You really aren't lying on that one, are you?
Even spoken
Right,
to us.
Blue?
You know, it is a quiet neighborhood. You know, it's sad that once again it goes back to you.
Leprechaun? I would love to have that man on my channel. He won't never do it.
YouTube, and people just doing things just to be malicious.
Yeah. Now I have another question. So I'm sure you're aware the Texas Roadhouse footage that had came out, and I'm sorry that that was released on his birthday. I can't fathom what that did to you, Katie, and even Seth. But in that footage, are you aware, did Sebastian have a cell phone with him that night?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay. And then I guess, would you want to know then what Kate, if Katie was taking photos of Sebastian, and if so, where they, like, did she send you a photo of him
Oh,
that
let's
night at the
listen.
Texas Roadhouse, or do you have any idea
Yes,
what those photos
yes,
were?
she took a photo. Yes, law enforcement knows exactly what the photo was and who it went to. And to clarify that, it went to me.
Really, Mr.
And I'm going to
Chris?
guess that his face is kind of in his salad eating.
Yes.
It's actually showing him eating all of his food.
Yeah.
Oh, lie to us some more, Mr. Chris, because we just watched the video. He had just started eating his food. And in all actuality, when they get up to leave, that young man did not eat all of his food. And to the bimbo who wants to say he was eating his salad, guess what? That picture was taken when he was eating the macaroni pasta and salmon, not a salad.
So of course they can't use that for the TBI poster, right? Like,
Right.
it's
Can't use that while he's eating, right? Got his face down in the bowl eating. Can't use that. What about the one where he's sitting up, though? What about the one before he starts eating? Let's remember that one, folks, because this panel here is so smart they don't remember. There is a picture of him sitting straight up. That one could have been used. That's how smart this panel is.
it's not it's not a frontal face picture. It's dimly lit. And it's not like Katie and Chris or Seth pick the picture TBI uses, you guys.
Well, that was my next question. So I've been curious about this myself. Why does it appear that every photo we have available of Sebastian is at a younger
Right, Neha.
age and does not fit with what he looks like today?
So any of the photos that Katie and I have been able to provide to law enforcement have been the most accurate, up-to-date photos.
Put a 1 if you think the most accurate, up-to-date photo was given to TBI. Because I call BS on that one. I will. 2. Meemaw puts 2. Yeah, no joke on that. 0. The most accurate up-to-date photo would have been the one Katie took of him sitting straight up looking at the camera. That would have been the most up-to-date photo. Not photos of him when he's 10 years old and under. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And guys, before I push play again, I want to say happy birthday to our Pink Warrior. I hope you have a super great day today. Happy birthday to you, beautiful.
What Seth provides, and this is, I don't know what he provides, so I'm not going to try to speak on that.
Please don't.
That's not fair. I don't know what he's provided to Ellie or to whatever else. I know what he has in some of his videos and things that good people put out there, and you know he's had some tasteful like his memories. Those are his memories. And no, we're not going to give people every single
That's
memory.
not on this one.
Those are
Angela.
ours. Keep in mind, like, we are parents.
Right.
We have our own moments that we cherish deeply.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for everybody in this world to know. Those are for us.
They're for them. It's not for the world to see. Hell, we don't want him found. Why would we put out our most cherished photos of him when he's older so that people could actually see what he looks like today? My gosh, people. Chris, you're pathetic.
All three parents know this.
Now, there was a video put out of a classmate at one of the gatherings for Sebastian, and she gave a FFA award. Were you aware that he was supposedly doing this class via the internet?
I don't know anything about it, so I can't speak on that.
Ziva Marie.
And this is going to be a tougher question. Again, you don't have the answer, but were you mandated not to be allowed in the house in the month of February?
No, I was never mandated not to be at my house.
I question that. To me, that one's very questionable.
Okay.
You said on the Nancy Grace show that you were last in the house at the beginning of February, but that you couldn't say why, or I can't remember the
No, I
exact
said I
verbiage.
couldn't tell you the exact date, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still not going
Okay.
to tell you the exact date.
If I guessed it, would you tell me?
Yeah.
Once again, ma'am,
Okay, I
I'm
do.
sorry, but that is one
I'm teasing.
thing that law enforcement asked not to be released.
Do we seriously believe that? No.
Interesting. Okay.
And I said that in an interview a long time ago.
Mhm.
Law
Now,
enforcement does not want that information out there. I am not releasing it. It's
He's so
just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February until I came home February 26th.
Huh? What? What? Wait, what was that, Mr. Chris? The last time you saw Sebastian was early February until you came home on the 26th. People remember after midnight begins the 26th. Nice to know, Mr. Chris. Thanks for that info.
That's all I can tell you.
Okay. I
Now,
understand.
this green hoodie guy, do you know anything about that? Can Katie explain, or can you explain why this gentleman was next to the car? What that actual, like, what was happening in that footage? Is that footage correct?
What I can tell you about that is law enforcement has talked to Katie. She's been able to answer all their questions. And once again, there is nothing to that situation. I mean, law enforcement even put out a statement. There's nothing to do with it. There's nothing.
Katie was
I call BS on that as well. You can't talk to a person who passed away the month prior. So,
seen on camera talking to a mystery man while Chris was out of town on work. He's not suspicious at all about that? And how about when he said that lots of their neighbors have never even spoken to them? As the parents of a missing kid, I would have expected them to initiate those conversations. If your kid goes missing, wouldn't one of the first things you do is go around and canvass the neighborhood and knock on all the neighbors' doors? It's very suspicious that they haven't spoken to every single one of their neighbors. And finally, if we take Chris at his literal word, he said that he hadn't seen Sebastian from the beginning of February until the 26th, which is supposedly after Sebastian had gone missing. Now, maybe Chris means that he hadn't seen him in a new photo or a new video, but according to his own story, Katie had sent him a picture of Sebastian from the Texas Roadhouse grill. So wouldn't that have been the most recent time he saw Sebastian before the 26th? As before, these are all situations where a pointed follow-up question or two could have clarified things. They could have either exonerated Chris, like we saw with my recent post on X about some apparent inconsistencies in his story on Nancy Grace, which were clarified by my eagle-eyed viewers, or they could have condemned him, pushing him deeper into a more and more obvious lie. Sadly, I don't think Chris will ever give me the opportunity to interview him, but we can continue analyzing this one. On your screen now is part 2 because I think a lot of people missed that one, as well as my Sebastian Rogers playlist. Until next time, stay true.
thank you to Deception Detective for his great work. We appreciate that. The reason I showed that video, I want to explain. I know it wasn't Texas Roadhouse. However, it does talk about the picture at Texas Roadhouse. You got to see how they took only one of those photos and made it out as the reason why they could not use that photo for TBI. They did not at any point mention the photo of Sebastian sitting straight up. Chris said he was given the picture that we just watched happen to show he was eating all of his food. That is a straight up lie. We saw that. We know that's not true. They called it salad once again. It was not at any time during either one of those pictures a salad he was eating while the picture was taken. And I know the salad thing is, some people can look at it as a moot point, but it is very important because he didn't have a picture taken while he ate a salad. The whole purpose of the salad picture was to show that he was eating salad dressing on his salad. And yet he was eating macaroni with a piece of salmon. So yes, it is important. And that's why I played that one from the Deception Detective. Although it wasn't all about Texas Roadhouse, I wanted to get to that part, and I thought, why not listen to the whole entire thing? Okay, our next one, I think you're going to enjoy. This one's from Texas Roadhouse. This is just a short video, but it is very interesting. Suspicious activity at Texas Roadhouse. Let's make this larger. And this is by CARIE Reviews. Like I said, you may not hear notice some of these, but watch the old man with the walker. This is at the very beginning. You notice Katie's not there yet. The white truck is slowly going by. But she tells us to watch the old man, the man with the walker right here. He's standing up. He's on a phone, showing this woman something. And do you notice Mr. Chris over there leaning against the pillar? I'm pausing it right here because I want to look at this person real close. And if you notice, there goes the car. Their bodies turn to see Katie getting ready to pull in. It's Mr. Chris, I believe, and someone else with him there. They turn as Katie looks as if she's fixing to parallel park. Let's go back just a tad so that okay, the old man looks up at her vehicle that just parked, but he continues texting or whatever he's doing there. Man dressed in dark clothing touches nose so KP can see him. I believe the touching of the nose is a signal. I believe he was. Another signal. Watch them cross their feet at the same time. Cross feet. Oh, both of them did. I had not noticed that. I had not noticed they both did their feet at the same time. Wowza. And that guy uncrossed his feet. Mr. Chris keeps his crossed. That's exactly the stance that he has while he is at the Harley Davidson shop looking at motorcycles while a vigil is going on for Sebastian. And you watch, they walk off. Did you see that? The two men walk away. Miriam, I have sent information in, so hopefully he has it. Yep, you can see them walking away as they walk in. There's the white truck again. Telling you there's activity happening around there that's just too suspicious. That looks like mommy's car back there. Now, notice down at the bottom, you see the car parking behind that white car right there beside Katie's. You see that car go right there and park. I believe that is Kathy Bowersock's car. It is very close to Katie's car. And if you watch, it sits there for a minute and gets up and leaves. She did. No one's getting out of that car. You see it down there on the bottom. And you watch here in just a minute, it will leave. And to me, that's very suspicious. Why is he reaching under the seat? See, at this point, I've been watching that car back there. I didn't watch this man. What is he doing? What is up under that bench? Let's watch. Did he put something up there? That was strange. I do too, TJ. I would love to see the whole thing. Yes, I agree. And if you notice that card down at the bottom corner there, no one has gotten out of it at all. And it's been sitting there for a little. Oh, wait. Oh. They get rid and they leave. The man's looking around. And there goes that car. No one ever got out of that car. Oh, here's the white truck. And if anybody's interested in the white truck, you watch it close down at the bottom because it will park. And it takes almost 2 minutes for someone to come out of the passenger side door, not the driver's side. Now, mind you, this white truck has passed by along with the black truck behind it 5 different times. And it's not until they come by and Katie's car is parked there that this truck will park. And no one gets out of the driver's side door, only the passenger side door. I wonder what this couple is doing sitting there, though. Who are they talking to? It's hard to tell who they're talking to. Watch the 3 men that enter the frame. The 2 men in dark clothing were the same men standing around earlier when KP first pulled up. They exited the frame from the opposite direction earlier. Watch, the old man is really staring them down. Watch, the man in dark clothing wearing the hat does the touch to the nose while looking at the old man. The old man points at them. Let's watch this. Okay, let's watch. Here comes the 3 men. Oh, that one last one turned around. Did y'all see it? Let's go back a tad. Watching. That last guy touches his nose. I don't see the man sit and point at them. If that's not Mr. Chris, it's his cousin. Oh, yep, he does point up. Wowza. And if you notice, the man has yet to get out of the white truck down there as well. He points right here. That man touches his nose. Oh my goodness, at the activity happening. What in the world, folks? I'm wondering if that's who it might be. He's looking at them. He's watching them. There's the nose touch. The guy looks at him, touches his nose. Oh my goodness. Maybe he's texting. Looks like he's doing something on his phone there. And they go in. He's watching them walk in the door. What in the world is going on? Here comes the man out of the passenger door, walking across the parking lot. Maybe that wasn't him. Are they standing outside that door? He's going to get up after he was through texting. Katie gets a text. Whose black bag is on the bench? Let's watch this again, folks, because when he stands up, he's through texting. Okay, let's go right before. Watch this. Let's go right here. Looks like he's doing something on his phone right here. And Katie's on her phone. Did he send Katie a text to let her know? Because she looks up from her phone. He's standing there. There's a black bag on the bench. Katie's looking over that direction. What is happening? What the heck is going on, folks? Now he's going to use the walker randomly. See, that's my question, Barb. Would Sebastian have recognized people? Or could it be that when he got out of the car, he really wasn't expecting? Wow, that was a very good one, guys. Very good one. Something more to look at and to pay attention to. I don't know, guys. There's so much more to look into with that Texas Roadhouse. I don't know. Why? Why is all these little things happening? Very sketchy, isn't it, Lori? Tomorrow we're going to do a part 2 on the Texas Roadhouse because I still have some more things to show. Yeah, maybe that's why he was very uncomfortable sitting there as well. Maybe he noticed people all around him, but they weren't all sitting together. I agree, me and you. There was something handed off, definitely. I had not paid attention until that video of the man with the walker there. Barb, it looked like he was very, very uncomfortable. Yeah. TJ, you're right. You know, when you say that, she said, you got to remember Christopher's side of the family did not like Sebastian, did not treat him well. So he would want nothing to do with them. Maybe he was seeing them and maybe that made him uncomfortable. Folks, there is something to this. I agree, me and you. He saw someone he knew. Something caught his eye. And when he comes back from the restroom, and we're going to watch that tomorrow, Katie's too busy looking across the room where people are sitting to notice Sebastian was there. And Sebastian's head goes to look in that direction. So yeah, we have game time tomorrow at 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock. I should be home. It'll be a late night tomorrow. It will probably be about 7 or 7:30. But we'll come back and we will go over Texas Roadhouse and finish this up, what we've got to look at. Everything's a red flag. And every time we look into it, we're finding more and more stuff. Yeah, mental abuse. Yes. That is completely mental right there. I think they were all in place. I don't know if it was more of a reminder to let Katie know this is happening, that she cannot back out. Everybody's in place. Everybody's here. It's going to happen. I don't know. But y'all look for it tomorrow. I will put it out and do a post. Yes, let me show you guys real quick. I did tomorrow, Sunday, Blue Eyes is going to go to the Bikers Against Child Abuse meeting to ask them to help with finding Sebastian. Y'all keep her in your prayers. And let me show you her shirt that she will be wearing. This is her shirt. She will have Sebastian up front and center. I love this picture of him. This is my favorite. So you guys definitely keep her in your prayers. Sorry. This is me. I just got out of the shower a while ago. So definitely keep her in your prayers for sure. One more thing before we go, I want to read something here. Let's see. This was shared today, and I'm going to read it for you because it is very hard to see. And let's see. Dog, TBI, Nick, the Hat, Honk, Lesniak, Bruce, At Night Intelligence, Tony Mathis has been getting harassed, receiving multiple death threats throughout this case, all by the Footsox and their puppets, just because they decided to step in to this case and help Seth. They wanted everyone to turn their backs on Seth Rogers and his missing son, Sebastian, just like they had turned their backs on them. They even managed to pay people to portray Seth. They just want to find Sebastian and bring him home to his loving father, Seth. I'm going to say this. Everything you hear about these people are a bunch of cruel lies. And it goes to here. They just let's see. That it's just a bunch of cruel lies that's being orchestrated and spread by Chris, Katie, and the hate channels on purpose to make everyone think that they are bad people. We know that that's not true at all. The ones spreading the garbage are the ones protecting the same people who are responding. Let's see, same people who are responsible for what happened to Sebastian. They are operating a demonic agenda, and that is going after everyone who want to protect the foot socks. That's the truth. Now, this here says, let me get back to this one here. This says, God put these wonderful people in Seth's past to help him find his son. Sebastian vanished from Chris and Katie's house under their watch. Chris and Katie have recruited and paid a bunch of evil, nasty criminals who are just like them. They have also created this cruel hate campaign to intentionally interfere with those searching for Sebastian. They have launched a lying campaign against everyone working with Seth and anyone advocating for Sebastian's safe return. These people have done nothing wrong, but Chris and Katie's hate-fueled agenda is targeting everyone who cares about Sebastian's whereabouts. That's the reality of what is really going on in Sebastian's case. Folks, it is real. It is real. I want this to show. It's not showing. Come on. What is happening here? There's no storm that God won't carry you through, no bridge that God won't help you cross, no battle that God won't help you win. Trust God and never give up. Amen. Remember that, folks. We're not giving up. We're not going to stop. I don't care how many phone calls come through. I don't care how many times people say they drive by my house. I don't care. I'm here for Sebastian. Sebastian is what is most important and the only reason I'm here. And they can say and do whatever they want. It is horrible. It is real. And it's disgusting. So, guys, prayers for Blue Eyes as she prepares to go before this group of men and women and ask them for help. We need all the help we can get. And thank you, Blue Eyes, for what you're doing. We love you and appreciate you more than you know. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, I guess. Y'all be safe out on the streets. Fingers crossed, say prayers. 12 o'clock tomorrow and 4 o'clock. My little man, look what I've been making. I don't know if y'all can see it. I made a baseball. It is a paint stir stick. I made some for him so we can have a fan. But I made some for him and his two buddies. So I'll be at the game all day tomorrow, but I'll be back tomorrow night. So love and hugs, everybody. We'll see y'all soon.